Greetings everyone, my name is Zephyr, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Starward Rogue. During the last part, I successfully completed a run using the Zephyr mech on the extended normal difficulty setting, and boy was it a blast. So, I've come to the decision to use the Zephyr mech for my first set of hard mode runs, or at least until I get my first success, then I'll swap over to using the alpha mech. After all, I had such a great success before, might as well use it. Especially due to its need for speed perk / specialty. That was really awesome to play around with. Anyways, let's look at the hard mode specialties or differences. Hard mode. Enemies gain stat advantages and your health is lower, so less margin for error on your part. In some cases, enemies, particularly bosses, have more complex bullet patterns. This mode is for those with pixel-perfect accuracy and win records in bullet hell games. I still wonder though, sometimes the hard mode difficulty due to the randomness can be a bit easier, and in the reverse, normal mode difficulty can be harder. So, hopefully with my skill that I accrued over the 39 parts of this LP, as well as some good luck, I'll be able to survive on hard mode. Let's try our best, and let's begin. As well as the enemy stat gains, I think they'll have increased firepower, more complex bullet patterns, and also the room types are going to be a lot more jerkish or a lot more painful to go through. Okay, just like before, I'm going to make a beeline for the boss rooms first, then I'll return to wrap up the rest of the floor. At least that's what I hope. Okay, we have 6 health right now, 6 max health, so it's the same as before, and 2 max shields, so it isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it would only start with 3 or 4 max health. Without further ado, let's begin and see how crazier the bullet patterns are. Okay, I just made it directly to the boss. That was fast. I immediately noticed that some of the enemies are a lot more difficult. Okay, Mirror Mach 1. Let's see how crazy this one is. Well, down goes my projectiles, or chakrams. I definitely see more blue projectiles moving around the place, so it is a bit more challenging there. A lot more reflecting projectiles too here, and ow. Well, that was definitely much harder. You saw all the extra projectiles. This is along the lines of the Terminus encounter, actually. I think I'll go for double credits, that seems to be more useful. I want to take the hardening module because that's going to be useful for survival's sake. Now, time to complete the rest of the floor, and see how crazy the rest of this run is going to be. That boss fight was already a lot more difficult, and I'm really worried how difficult the ward and other things are going to be. I mean, I had to waste a lot of missiles there. Yikes, the steel-persistent enemies are a lot more aggressive, and they fire up to 7 or 8 projectiles that follow me around. Unfortunately, I wasn't as lucky with my credit drops, and I won't be able to get any of these key cards or whatever else. Kind of unfortunate, but I need to press onwards to the next floor. I would really like to get more missiles, but I only got one of them. I'll go for it. I need as much energy as possible, so I'm gonna return back to that shop and purchase that upgrade. I get the feeling that the chakram is going to be one of the lifesaver for a lot of these rooms. You saw it with all of those. There's an abundance of a lot of those smaller enemies I've noticed. There we go. That should be all I need. I want to try getting up to level 4 first, or as quickly as possible, because that'll allow me to get the need for super speed. And I get the feeling that the mini bosses is going to be a lot more of a pain to deal with. Also, I made a mistake there. I don't mean need for super speed spawns at level 4, that's level 7. I mean Map Master spawns first at level 4. You know what, I think it's a better idea to get the big leaky battery because usually I use up my energy pretty quickly. Oh, I also noticed something. I need to get 10 health shards in order to gain 1 max HP. That's increased from the usual 8. I'm gonna save that for the next floor. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use it now. Okay, I'm going the wrong direction. I need to go left. Alright, backfire. On hard mode. I want to immediately use my chakram as quickly as possible so my energy drain isn't too bad. Okay then, that was a really long boss fight. I'll take all floors revealed because that's gonna be super useful. This boss fight took so long that I lost my bonuses, so it caused it to get longer and longer, and now I'm thinking that it wasn't the best idea to pick this mech for this run. Boy, you saw how long Backfire took, especially in the second phase. Yikes. Because of all of its flunkies, it caused me to have to run around the boss in circles repeatedly. In an elongated oval, specifically. To be fair, the Red Crimson or Crimson Moon would be a huge boon for this boss fight. Mainly because it could keep restoring all of its energy thanks to all of the flunkies being destroyed. I don't know how long I'll be able to survive for throughout this run. I think I'll keep on the hardening module because I really need to reduce my damage taken. Well, I've accomplished everything I could have done in this floor, and boy was it kind of a drag near the end. Once this hull type loses access to its bonuses, it becomes below average, worse than most other mech types. You really need to clear the floors quickly and decisively if you want to keep your buffs. Now I'm rethinking my decision of not using the alpha mech, because at least for the alpha mech, you have the chance to score big and get some great buffs. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a complete run, but I didn't expect to. Hard mode is definitely hard in a lot of different fashions. Well, I'm gonna make a rush for the boss. Let's hope I don't die. And I ended up dying there because Aegis nicked me. The Aegis enemies seem to be quite a newbie trap, or for most players, even on normal difficulty because of how fast it can fire. And they become even more of a nuisance at higher levels, unfortunately, and that resulted in my death there. This is my first time running the hard mode, and honestly, I don't think it works well with the Zephyr mech. The Zephyr mech works wonderfully on normal and lower because the enemies don't have as much health, and it pays to be more aggressive. But on the higher difficulties where enemies have a lot more firepower, especially with bosses as well as much more health, the Zephyr mech kind of loses some of its specialty, at least until you get the need for super speed or super duper speed perks. Then again, that may be just me and starting out in hard mode, but I feel other mech types would do better in hard mode. And everything I said here will probably get worse on misery mode. Even with some of the more difficult enemies, like the steel persistent enemies, I'd say the most difficult enemy out of the bunch was still Aegis, by far, and maybe the metal grinder. At least the rooms weren't that bad by themselves, it's just the enemy types. So in the next part, well, I'll try out the extended hard mode, this time using the alpha mech. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!